Noon, 12 o'clock UK time. Now, President Trump's former Defense Secretary, James Mattis, has denounced the president as divisive and expressed his support for the street protests demanding racial justice in America in the wake of the death of George Floyd. It comes after further charges were announced against the police officers who were present at Mr. Floyd's arrest shortly before he was pronounced dead. David Willis reports.
Huge protests continue to grip this country in response to George Floyd's death. Thousands converged on downtown Los Angeles, and after violence here over the weekend, this time their call for change was peaceful. Nighttime curfews remain in place here, as well as in New York and Washington, D.C. In Minneapolis, where all this began, anger gave way to cheers at the news that former police officer Derek Chauvin is to face a more serious murder charge. And at the news that the three other officers involved in Mr. Floyd's death have now been arrested. They stand accused of aiding and abetting his murder. President Trump's often bellicose response to the recent unrest here has unnerved even some in his own party. And now his former Defense Secretary, James Mattis, is voicing concern. In a withering critique in The Atlantic magazine, Mr. Mattis accuses the president of an abuse of power and writes, "Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people, does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us." Donald Trump responded promptly. "Probably the only thing Barack Obama and I have in common," he tweeted, "is that we both had the honor of firing James Mattis, the world's most overrated general."
I see limitless potential that deserves to flourish and thrive, and you should be able to learn and make mistakes and live a life of joy.
America's first black president struck a starkly different and more optimistic tone to that of President Trump in a virtual town hall event.
As tragic as these past few weeks have been, as difficult and scary and uncertain as they've been, they've also been an incredible opportunity for people to be awakened.
Right now, I think the nation needs law and order, because you have a bad group of people out there, and they're using George Floyd, and they're using a lot of other people to try and do some bad things. And what we do, and we have it totally under control.
George Floyd's family and friends are due to gather in Minneapolis on Thursday for a memorial service in his honor. The calls for a radical reform of race relations in this country are growing. David Willis, BBC News, Los Angeles.